Hope you got your shovel and pickaxe today. I'm Nemesis with the Crypto Brothers. And of course, I'm not your babysitter. Do your own research on everything. With that, let's dig in. Are you a Bitcoin miner? You like to mine that visited Bitcoin? Well, this one's actually kind of interesting. Chinese crypto miners going under, ASICs being turned into scrap metal. I don't think they're turning them into scrap metal, but at least they got a resale value right now. Somebody's willing to pay for any kind of those equipment because I have not seen the difficulty rating on Bitcoin drop down yet. It's going sideways, but it's not dropping down. Think about that. So these people are selling their stuff off to somebody if they're getting out. The once booming electronic market in Sichuan has turned into a ghost town for crypto miners, according to a local media report. While stories would previously showcase ASICs with flashy colors, now they are quietly piled them behind other digital products. Merchants say that all mining merchants machines are selling 30% off. If you're taking more than one, then the price continued to be negotiated. Get more sets of power cords and accessories, they say. It looks like people who got in at the hype of last year are showing that they got some weak mining hands and they just can't, they got too big too quickly for what they could really afford. That's what this shows. Li Chengzhen it may be typical of mining rush. He left his position in a small loans company in the second half of 2017 and bought hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of mining gear. I wonder if he took a loan on that. And now the loan people are wanting their money back, and they're like, "Well, I'm mining Bitcoin. You want some?" And they're like, "No, the institutions don't want that stuff." The friends in the circle warned that the hash rate of Bitcoin mining started at the beginning of the year nearly double, indicating more new players were entering the market. And it just kept on steadily climbing until the end of 2017, that's for sure. At the time, I did not realize that upgrading the did not upgrade the mining machines. This game I could not continue playing. Cheng Zhen said that the situation back in February 2018. I keep saying it, Bitcoin mining is competitive. I'm not going to compete in it because, I'm going to spend and get 4 or 5 ASIC machines? That's not even a pinch of profitability for me to want to get involved with that. I'd rather mine some other altcoin and buy into Bitcoin that way. As months progressed and the price regressed, Cheng Zhen became effectively bankrupt. The cost of Bitcoin mining was now higher than the price. Crazed profits had evaporated, Cheng Zhen said, according to a rough translation. In mid-June, I had another calculation with my older brother who took me in. In the past 6 months, our profit margin had dropped by 90%. Even worse, because he still engages in altcoins, basically he has all lost. Looks like they might be in an area where maybe they're paying too much for electrical. It's like, I'm in the States. Even with residential power, I'm still turning a profit. If I was at their level, I would have probably started looking into alternative places to mine, not in China, of course, if that was the issue for them. He's now trying to get out, but no one wants his ASICs. It's really hard to sell, and the new mining machines are cheaper than my secondhand, he said. He has apparently managed to sell 1 or 2 at $100 worth of yuan, but much may be turned into scrap metal, pocketing him $14 per ASIC bought at $430. Woo! They said that these machines will not be sold again. After a while, they can only be sold for scrap iron. 5 cents a pound. So I've dismantled them and divided them into categories and sell them as much as possible, said Li Chenggao, a shop owner in a mall in Sichuan's district of Hengquang North. Mining can be brutal, and for many, it's a losing business because, in addition to price volatility, one has to consider the ever-rising increase in difficulty. So, as you start getting into Bitcoin mining, you have to budget the purchase of new ASICs. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of them. What they're basically saying is that you've gotta continue growth. You can't just buy 100 and forget about it, and in 2 years you have a few Bitcoin and it'd be awesome. No. As you buy ASIC miners for Bitcoin, you gotta keep buying more. You gotta ever so expanding. That's why there are places where they've got gigantic server buildings where they're, consuming, megawatts of power. They just have to consume tons of power. So you got to be in an area where you got cheap electricity, availability to a lot of it, a building that's not by people, because the last thing you want to do is be mining Bitcoin and piss everybody off that's around you. Take, for instance, the company called Because LLC. The residents in that neighborhood hate him. He has destroyed homeowners' values of houses because they can hear the building humming from over a mile away. So, yeah, you got to make sure you're in a good area with good power, and so and then you got to, of course, be upgrading your equipment constantly. That has now reached 60 quintillion hashes per second. Wow, I only thought that was like a word I made up in grammar school. Quintillion. A number that comes after a trillion. Wow. A quadrillion. And after quadrillion. Wow, I mean, these words I thought I was just making up when I was a kid. Didn't realize they were a real thing. Just this year alone, difficulty has increased 6x from 10 quintillion to now a new high. That means all machines that were in operation at the beginning of this year are now 6 times less profitable. In addition, price has fallen by 4x, so anyone who is entering the mining market before 2018 and has not upgraded their machine is pretty much under for what is the upgrade for machinery is pretty much under. For Ethereum, was what the Chinese media is calling the mining disaster, can be seen as hash rate has fallen from 300 terahash to 250 and has stayed there, meaning many have turned off their GPUs, which shop owners in Sichuan are no longer willing to buy except for the newest ones. Now, apart from the relatively new GTX 1070 and the 1080, should be GTX 2070 and 2080. There's a typo right there. Other graphics cards are not arbitrarily collected, says Ling Shizong, who runs a computer maintenance stall. GPUs in 2017 were almost impossible to find. Now, with the Ethereum significantly increased in difficulty combined with the price by some 86%, few want the product. Part of the reason for suspension's price fall in crypto is due to proof-of-work institution miners who tend to install Bitcoin or ETH in order to cover their business expenses to expand. As mining is fairly decentralized in that anyone can leave or enter the market, miners can keep selling relentlessly until mining is no longer profitable. At the cost of production point, a neutral switch occurs whereby it is more profitable to buy crypto rather than to mine it. Some people are actually feeling that. I mean, whenever their kilowatt hours are at like 20 cents a kilowatt hour, it's probably cheaper to take the money it would be spending on electricity and just invest it in. All of which means cryptos probably do have a floor, and that floor is probably at the current level, or at least for Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's because much of the mining pressure on the market may have now reduced considerably as new money goes to buy cryptos directly rather than new miners, while some old miners hold off selling or stopping increasing their business costs, thus crypto liquidation. I mean, I'm sitting here mining, I'm still expanding. I'm not expanding like I did when I first jumped into it, but I had put aside some money to do this. Now that I've basically gone through the amount of money that I had set aside for mining, now I am slowly acquiring new mining equipment, which is some of the reasons why you're not really seeing a drop off in mining. Is you'll find people like myself who were slowly buying equipment, not in droves like it used to be over a year ago, where everybody was like, woo, getting up on that hype train. But you're going to see more people just kind of streamlining in. As maybe a mining rig or two gets turned off, somebody like myself will turn one or two back on. So the network, I don't think, is really going to drop in difficulty unless it stays where it's at for a long extended period of time. And for me, as more people start weeding their way out, the weaker miners turn their rigs off because profitability is down or their electric rate's too high now. It just means that hopefully I'm gonna get some more coinage. So I'm not turning my rigs off. I'm not trading my coins. I'm paying my electric bill. I haven't grown beyond my own means of capability. And with that, what's your thoughts on this? Drop them down below. Are you turning off your rigs with the increased the decrease in profitability? Or are you mining along, chugging? With that being said, guys, I will see you next time. And oh yeah, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and the bell notification, all that good stuff, you know. Alright, I'll see you all next time.